Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. I know it doesn't. Yeah, yeah, it's ridiculous. Mhm. Exactly. This is New Jersey, land of the free. Yeah. Yeah, it's really bad. Really, really, really bad. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye. Hey, Massimo, you're on mute. You're muted. Let me see if I can get you to unmute.
I got it. Okay. Can you
Yeah,
hear me?
yeah, I can hear you now. How's it going, buddy?
Good, good. How are you?
Good. Let me switch over to my Bluetooth on the computer.
Okay. Look at you with the fan outside.
Oh, me? Yeah, no, this is I like working by the pool. I like pool. I can be in poolside because I don't know about you. Do you get claustrophobic being indoors a lot?
Yeah, I can't be inside too long.
Yeah, I start to get like, oh, antsy. I could be inside for like a little bit, but then I gotta go outside when I make calls or when I join meetings. I'd rather be outside. There's no point in me being indoors. So I
Yeah,
come by the pool.
100%.
Yeah, I got a couple other agents that are gonna be joining us.
Sure, no
Just like one or two. I've had a few last minute cancellations from some of the people that were supposed to join us, but there is, I think, one or two that are still going to be on here. So we'll give them until about 12:02, 12:03, see if they can jump on. If not, we just get started, me and you.
Louis,
Cool,
I have
man.
a question for you.
Yeah, man. What's up?
You have inspection this Saturday on that property in Hillside,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
12:30, I think, right?
I don't know. Did you book it with showing time or with me?
The inspection?
Yeah, you 12:30 on site. Oh no, you scheduled that already for like a while already, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been
Yeah,
scheduled for a while. I think it's 12:30.
April 2nd, right? Yeah, I remember now.
Right. And then
Yeah.
also another question. Do you use a website?
Do I use a website for what purpose? I do different things
Like I'm
for
looking,
real estate.
yeah, real estate. I'm looking for, like right now I've been talking to Brivity,
Yeah.
but I don't know of any other, are there other options that are similar or better or?
Well,
do
I
you
love
use
this.
them?
I love this one. Let me show you. Share screen. So
They're a little
I love using where is it here? KV Core. So I use KV Core. KV Core has a front end website, and on the back end, you get all the leads. They come in like this. You see when the person is viewing a property. You see the different people here. They can favor properties, like put a heart next to it. You see which ones are the favorite ones. They can
Uh-huh.
ask you to schedule a showing for them.
Now,
You
this links to MLSs that you belong to?
Yes, it does, exactly.
Okay.
So once you do that, they can even ask you questions about properties that they may want to see, and you can answer them like, different people may ask different things. Like this is a new lead that just came in off the organic website. And the beauty of it is that I set it up where when new leads come in, the people start to get text messages and emails automatically from me through the website.
That's what I want.
So yeah, so once you set it up, it's all there and done for you.
Now,
So yeah.
what does your like the initial your first page look like? Is it you? Has you on it and all that, or your homepage?
It could be whatever you want, but mine I keep it generic. I'll show you right now. So it would look like this.
Okay.
And I just have it pretty much open, and the people come in here search for properties, and then they get any property one in my MLSs. And if they want to sell a property, they can go in here and get an instant quote on their property. If they want to maybe get like a financial calculator or something like that, they can go on here and see other things. So yeah, there's always something for them to check out. And what the beauty of this is that it's very user friendly. So like if they search for homes in Naples, you just type Naples. Oh, I'm sorry, that's for listing. If they want to see homes in, let's say, Naples, they just go to Naples, Florida. They have different options on how to view the information. They can view it like this, like on a map. They can view it on a grid, or they can view it in different ways. And then you can start looking. And then on my side, I get to see what they've been looking at. So if they want to look at a property if they've looked at a property like 3 or 5 times, I know that that person has been back to that listing 5 times. So when I reach out to them, I'll talk to them about that property. I'll say, hey, listen, I don't know if you know this or not, but there's a property, I think, on 123 Main Street that I think you'd really like. And they're like, oh, wow, yeah, I know that property. I'm actually really interested in that one. So it gives you an insight of what they like.
Right. You sell any of those $20 million homes yet?
These, bro, I probably got a better chance of buying one than I do selling one. Yeah, no, these,
one that's good too.
Yeah, I mean, listen, man, you never know. I get people calling me from all over the world through my YouTube page, and sometimes I get some pretty big, big players, but I haven't been approached to a $20 million one yet. But one day, you never know.
That's right. It's out there.
Yeah, these things are nice. Yeah, so Claudia is joining us. Claudia is also going to jump in and ask some questions about the prospecting stuff. We'll give it 1 or 2 more minutes, and then we'll get started. Yeah, so how much is the price for brevity or whatever the name is? I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right.
Yeah, let me get you. They're charging, I think it's gonna be about $800 a month.
Whoa.
I don't know. That's why I'm like, that's too much money, man.
Yeah, man, we've got it all rolled in for $85 a month. You're gonna get the websites, the app, the CRM, the transaction management. Yeah,
right?
The transaction management.
How much is the initial fee?
10,000.
How much?
10,000 doll hairs. I'm just joking, bro. There's no fee. There's no initial or anything. It's just your first month. So whatever it costs, it's $85. So you got to pay the $85 up front.
And how about if you have multiple MLSs?
Oh, okay. So if you have multiple MLSs, you just have to tell, because we use KV Core. So you just got to tell KV Core, listen, I have these other few MLSs. There's probably like a one-time fee to add those MLSs to your website of like, I think it's like $50 or at worst. And I'm saying this because I don't remember, because I used to add all of my MLSs when I was an independent broker with Conversion, which is like the baby brother version of Conversion. They're the same company, but it's like a lighter version. I think I paid like $50 per MLS to add each additional MLS, one-time fee.
Yeah, they want to charge $250 one-time fee for the MLS to add the MLSs.
Yeah, that's pretty rough.
Yeah, a setup fee, and then about $800 a month.
Yeah, that's rough, man. I don't know. Well, you know what? But I'll be honest with you, man. That's what things cost. If you were to get KV Core by yourself, it costs you $650. If you were to get Conversion by yourself, it costs you $500. And we've got it all. Conversion?
Yeah, what's that?
Okay, so Conversion is all right. You see this? This is KV Core. KV Core is our CRM system, and there is like a lighter version that doesn't have as many features called Conversion with a K, and that's the CRM that we used to use when I was at Culture. And then when we came to EXP, it was kind of like, oh, okay, we're gonna get KV Core, which is the better version, and I'm gonna get it for less money. Oh my God, like hell yeah! So let's do it. So KV Core is, I would say, one of the top, depends who you ask, top 3 CRMs in the world that you can get for real estate. So you're basically just getting this. It's a $650 value. You're getting also SkySlope. That's your transaction management system. That's $500 value. You're getting all that rolled in for $85. And then on top of that, you get 50 live hours of training every week. So all of that, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah. So the price you got, $85 a month. That's because it's under EXP or a group, or
that's because we have 80,000 agents. Yeah, you can get cheaper pricing on things when you're in a big group. But if you're going to get an individual,
so that's not the normal price. I thought that was like, okay, got it.
Nah, dude. If you shop that, it's $650 at least to start with. And then all the other fees that you probably have to pay for to set things up. One-time fees and all that.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, Claudia. How you doing, sweetie?
Hi, Louis. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. Awesome. And so I think it's just going to be us 3 for today. I think I know I had 2 cancellations, and then I guess the other gentleman who is going to join us, I guess he must be caught up. So I'm going to kind of just jump into some of the things that I think you guys want to really learn about and what you guys are going to be finding valuable. So first things first, prospecting. When we're talking prospecting, we have different demographics, types of people that we're going to be reaching out to. Let me cover with you guys the first part. The first part is your real estate business. So if you want to develop your real estate business, there's different categories of people that you're going to be reaching out to. Those people are for sale by owners, right? You've got your expired listings. You've got people with high equity. You've got people who have lived on the property longer than 5 or 10 years. You know, these are all absentee owners. You know, these are all categories of people that could possibly be highly motivated or higher motivated than other people, such as someone who just bought a house a year ago. Okay. You've got other sub demographics such as, you know, estates and pre-foreclosures, foreclosure, you know, things like that. All of those are great too. But what I would say is find out what type of a client you're looking for, you know, because you can reach out to everyone, and that's fine. That's perfectly fine. You got enough time, you can reach out to everyone. But if you want to specialize in a certain category, like I know that Massimo he's been trying to specialize in a certain neighborhood, a certain price range. And if that's the case and that's what you want to do, then what you would have to do is find out what demographic do I got to target to get in front of those people, right? So instead of me giving you guys all the answers, let me kind of ask you guys some. Hold on, let me switch my ear pods. I think this one's dying. You guys hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. So first things first, right? What kind of a target? Who's our I guess you would call it your perfect client. Massimo, I'll start with you. What kind of a client are you targeting right now?
Are we talking about buyers or sellers?
I'm sure you don't want buyers. I'm sure you've had your fill.
Yeah, we don't want buyers. Okay.
Unless you love pain, and that's something.
Well, let me
different.
tell you, all my clients have been crazy so far. All my
Yeah.
listings have been nuts.
But at least you know that's almost like money in the bank, and it's a little bit less of your time.
Yeah. So I mean, in you know, I would like a client that's motivated to sell, that wants to sell now,
Mhm.
or in this crazy market, ideal is finding a client that has multiple homes so they could sell and move somewhere. Because
Okay, so you're
that's like a problem right now. A lot of appointments that have been going on, people are saying, okay, but if I sell, where am I gonna go? So that's like I think it's a little bit of a problem right now.
got it. All right, so you might be looking for a person who has multiple homes in the same area, in the same town, or maybe in the same county, or God knows, right? Yeah. So what you could do, two different things. You could look up number one, absentee owners. Okay,
Right.
an absentee owner is someone who owns a property but doesn't live there. Or you can search the tax records and do a cross reference and see, does this person own more than one house in the same city? Now that's gonna be a little difficult because sometimes people own homes in LLCs. So I would stay away from that. I would stay away from that strategy, and I would look more for absentee owners.
Yeah.
So an absentee owner, especially in like a city like where you like to work in, you know, Springfield and maybe the Union area, if they own a single family absentee owner, then the chances of them wanting to sell that property are probably pretty good right now in this market, because they're going to get the top dollar for that house right now. And God knows the next time they'll be able to do that, right? So it could be a good opportunity to start planting that bug in people's ears. Now, do you know how to go about getting that data? Because I think Claudia also wanted to know the same thing.
Yeah, the exact same thing actually. Because my area is a lot of it's mixed multifamily. It's actually more multifamilies than single families. But that's why I can't just say I want to target one specific. And then a lot of the single family homes that is in the area I want to target are mostly being rented. So that would
Okay.
be what you said, the absentee owner. So
Yeah.
then my question was how to prospect in general. How to get that ball rolling. I know there's some costs
There are.
involved.
There definitely are, and I wouldn't as much as call them costs as I would investments. So let's start with that. So Massimo, do you know where to find the absentee owner list?
Yes, I've done it before. Yes.
Where do you use?
I go off the GSMLS.
Okay, so you'll go on the MLS and you'll search for. Let me go in here. What do you search for?
It's been a while, but
You go to tax records?
I go to, hold on, let me see. I go to, yes, it's gotta be the tax records.
Okay. So let's go to advanced or quick? Doesn't really matter, right?
Quick, yeah.
Okay, so when you go here, you go to Union County. Let's say you go to Springfield. Okay, what do you do from here?
Okay. And then from here, hold on. I just hit search because it's gonna give me all of Springfield.
Okay. So you got 5,000 records here, right? So this is going to be very difficult for you to do this way. There are other ways of utilizing MLSs, but Garden State is not one of them. I don't like using Garden State for any of my prospecting that I've ever done before because it's just not prospector friendly or data rich. So what I would rather, I suggest to you guys is if you have another MLS that has like New Jersey MLS, like New Jersey MLS has, I'm sorry?
I just actually last week because I had a client looking in Bayonne area and
Yeah.
I got NJMLS, but I'm really not good at it yet.
All right, so yeah,
starting it with GSMS.
Oh, NJMLS is a little bit more friendly to what we're trying to do.
Okay.
Let me just. I think I still have access. Okay. So when I go to Realist on this, I can actually find more data here. Okay, I'm teaching you guys some of the free ways, but then I'm going to show you a simplified, quick, paid version of how all this data can be given to you at a much quicker rate and with less technical skill. Okay, so what I would do here is I would customize the search. So I would go to my search, right? And you can put in, see what I've done here is I put in carrier routes because if I want to do like just a certain area within a mail carrier route, you know about carrier routes, Massimo, you do EDDM.
Yep.
So whatever mail carrier route that is, I would put it in here. I would put in the owner's name or city. But if you want to just do a quick search, so let's just say we go to, let's see if we can do, let's go to Springfield. See if that works. Okay, let's just go show first 1,000, right?
You cannot, I'm sorry, Luis.
Yes.
This cannot be done on Garden State MLS.
This I've never seen anywhere on Garden State. On New Jersey MLS, you can do this. Okay. So what I would probably do is go in here and I would customize this because this one only allows me to put address, owner's name, or MLS listing. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to my search and just customize it. I'm going to go here to customize search. I'm going to add, let's see, all categories, owner info. Mail carrier on, no address.
Claudia, where are you working at? What towns?
Northern Jersey.
Okay.
Essex, Bergen, Morris, Passaic, Union. And that's not with sellers, that's mostly with buyers. But for sellers, I'm just starting. So I'm starting, everybody advises you to start where you live. So I'm starting in Newark.
Okay.
Okay. All right, let's go with this. All right, I just added a few more things I'm going to show you guys right now. Okay, so what I have now is I have the city. So in here, I'm going to put Springfield. And I'm going to go to owner occupied. And I'm going to select from list. I'm going to put no. So now I'm going to go to search. And I've got myself a couple. I mean, a good amount. You know, look, I got 600. I got 600 addresses that I can pull from. So the beauty of this is that now I can export this data and I can utilize this for my later purposes. So I would go now to quick export.
Louis,
believe
are
it's
those
quick.
addresses where the owner is living?
No,
No.
I put in here owner occupied. No.
Right, so it's gonna give you the address, but not their info, not their contact info.
Exactly. They don't give you phone numbers. No MLS gives you phone numbers.
Just the addresses so that you know what you're
Yeah.
targeting, where you're
Hold on
targeting.
1 second. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay. So that's gonna help me if I'm gonna send out any mailing to them.
Yes, this would help you for that.
Would I can do that?
It's going to
But
help you
they're
for
not.
that.
But if the owner doesn't live there,
Yeah,
you
that's
can't
why I
do
also
that.
want. Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm also going to want the mailing address. So I'm going to show you in a second.
Okay.
Okay. So I go to export. Let me go to custom export so I can show you guys.
Can you
Okay.
see
So
this is
yeah,
this is what I printed from GSMLS.
yeah, that's a tax record. But how are you narrowing down the data of non-owner occupied?
Well, it's giving me the address of the home and then
Yeah.
their owner's address where they're living.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, but that's not scalable because you having that information the way you have it right there
Uh-huh.
means that now you got to somehow convert that into a spreadsheet or a CSV so you could send those off to get phone numbers or you can send those off to get mailings.
Yeah, so what I do, I send letters out to those addresses. That's what I did.
Yeah. So what I'm going to show you right now is how to take 600 or 700 addresses right now and send them all off in one shot.
And what do you send in? Like an email? What is it? Is it an email? What is it that you send in?
Oh, nothing. I'm not sending anything. I'm showing you how to get that data so you can give it to
okay,
your
I
mail.
got you.
So you can show your mail provider, whoever you're using for your letters. You give them that spreadsheet, and now they're going to send out the 600 or 700 addresses targeted. Very highly targeted people. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say the data that I want it to give me to spit out. So spit out this data that I need. So you're going to need go to all categories. Okay. I don't know why it looks like this. Why does it look like that? Attributes. Okay.
How do you get phone numbers? Do you use REI skip, Ray skip, whatever it's called?
Yeah, I'll show you that in just 1 second.
Because that's
House
what
number, no carried out, state, subdivision, attributes, address, carried out, owner information. Okay, mail, owner name, address, state. Okay, perfect. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to export right here because you see I have checked off mail owner name, mail address, state, mail, all that. So I already had done this before in the past, but when you do this, you want to make sure that that information is in there. So now what I do is I export it. Cool.
And I said, I love you. Guess what?
Okay, cool. Now that I have the exported list here, as you can see, right, all I got to do is clean it up because now I see that they have, we have the property city, you see here, Springfield, we have the zip code, whatever, all that address and owner's name. Now, what I'm going to need in order to do my mailings is I need the owner's name, right? And I also need the mailing address, which is somewhere in here. You scroll over, and that's why I say you got to clean these up before you send them out to your
right.
to your people. Okay, so we got the mailing address, we got the mailing zip. It's a mailing address state. Let me see if I can find the mailing address, actual address. Street suffix, okay. Stories,
There it is.
tax billing address. That's tax billing, municipal. Okay, mail owner's name, mail owner zip, city and state. Where's the damn, oh, here's the house number. Okay, where's the standardized house number, mail owner name, city and state, street, where's the street name?
What are you looking for?
The street name, the street address. Here we go. I guess, no, that's
There. Oh, no, that's the
yeah, this is tax.
tax bill address.
The tax billing address is the property's address, not the owner's address, right?
Yeah, I would think it's the property's address. Street direction, street suffix, street name, but that's under tax billing. That means this. I guess it is. No, it might not be. Direction, street name.
36 Morris Avenue.
Yeah, I'm surprised that it doesn't show here owner's street name, because as all the way to the right we have
Correct.
we
What's
have
that
mail owner where.
right there? Mail owner name, no?
Yeah, mail owner name. These are the owners, right?
Okay.
Then we need the mailing city and state. Then we have the zip code. What we're missing is mailing street, because we have house number,
Yeah.
owner last name. Did I forget to?
Maybe you
check
forgot
it off?
something. Yeah.
Maybe I forgot to check it off and customize report. Let me see. Owner info, mailing owner name, mailing owner state, mailing owner city, mailing owner mail order last name. Spouses, notification, mailing address state, name. Oh, yeah, let me show you guys this. I think they might have recently taken that data out. Let me show you.
You're getting harassed.
It might be that that's the case. Because if you see here, the options here are do not mail, mail owner name, mail address state, mailing city and state, mailing zip 4, owner first name, owner last name, owner name. So they don't have the address, yeah.
So we can't do it for free anymore.
I guess they caught on to this because they used to be in here. Yeah, I used to be in here.
Why did you have checked off no mailing?
I didn't do this. I think this was already checked off, but I don't know why. Because it'll show you if it says do not mail.
Yeah.
I never even heard of a do not mail. Like I wouldn't. To be honest with you, I wouldn't even really bother with this because everybody gets mail. Everybody gets mail. I don't think that's something we need to worry about. Okay. Yeah. So it's not there. So if it's not there for us to be able to mail to them, then what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to look at other resources. So if you guys are serious about what you're doing, there is a program that I found to be the best out of all the ones I've used before. It's called PropStream. So PropStream is great because it gives you all the data you need. So what you do is in PropStream. So what you do is you go into PropStream, and PropStream will allow you to get any kind of data you want. So you want expireds, you want absentee owners, you want high equity, you want pre-foreclosures, anything you want, any kind of demographic that you want from the client. You can even categorize on how much equity they have in their house. You could download that information. That comes with all the information you're going to need. And then you can mail those people. But, obviously mailings are not really what I have you guys here on the phone, on the Zoom call today for. It's for prospecting, because how can you actually take that part of the business and get good at it? Because the mailing will work for you, but it'll work for you passively. What are you going to be doing actively is the question. So getting the data, like whether you get it from here, if you're reaching out to pre-foreclosures or whatever, or if you get it from your MLS, I think it was this MLS, this MLS, or whether you get it from the MLS, you still need to get the phone numbers, right? So the phone number search database that I've used in the past, you remember, Claudia, we used to use in the office, we used to use the LexisNexis, and LexisNexis is like the gold standard in data when you want phone numbers. But unfortunately, LexisNexis, even though we had a very affordable version of it, is still somewhere around like, I think it was like I want to say like 20 cents a record or something like that. Like it's somewhere in that ballpark. And even at those numbers, we were very, very, very profitable with investing that into the data, or 26 cents. Yeah, it was 26 cents a record. I found that with REI Skip Trace, I think it comes out to be about like 14 cents a record. The problem is that we get back about 7 numbers plus sometimes with REI Skip Trace. So once we get that data back, what we need to do is we need to filter the data. We need to filter out the ones that have a low score. Have you used this before, Massimo?
Yes.
Okay. So we filter out the ones that have a low score, and we just focus on maybe trying to use the first 3 phone numbers with the highest score. That's been a pretty good pretty good method and strategy for me to use. Now, once you get that data back with those phone numbers, we scrub the spreadsheet, and scrubbing the spreadsheet, guys, that's not what this training is going to be about today. That's more of a like case by case, like that's going to like getting into the weeds. Once you get that data back, we have to use our highest and best use of our time, which means that how do we contact those people? Well, the best way to contact them is to use a dialer. If you're not going to use a dialer, then you're going to be dialing one by one. There's nothing wrong with that, but get ready to make about 10 phone calls an hour as opposed to 100 an hour. Okay, so it's very tedious to do it that way. And once you do figure out how to use the dialer, you get comfortable with it. What do you say, right? So I know Massimo told me that he's really not comfortable making prospecting calls. He doesn't really know how to navigate that conversation. And it all comes with experience, and it all comes with just trial and error and practice. At least, Claudia, I think you've been around us when we've done prospecting calls. You've been involved in some prospecting groups in the past. Do you recall?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Have you ever done it on your own? Have you ever gone as far as trying to prospect, for buyers, sellers, or mostly sellers?
Not for sellers, no.
Yeah. Has it
Only for buyers.
Has it been because you've been reluctant to do so because of the fear of not knowing what to say?
No, well, that have fear all the time. That's not gonna go away.
Yeah.
But I just don't know how to get these numbers. Like, for example, I did a little door knocking with Steph, and that was to promote her open house, and that was a little more like it gave you courage. It was easier to do it.
Yeah, because you had a reason.
But the problem is door knocking, if you don't know where you're knocking, it makes no sense because like I said, a lot of them are renters and they're not the owners. So we are knocking on doors without really knowing where we're knocking. That's why I wanted to also, so the farming is not just to put out my business information and let them know who I am, but it's also if I do door knocking, then I want to know what doors I'm actually knocking on, not just knocking without knowing, and then there's a bunch of renters that don't care to like buy anytime soon or sell or anything,
Yeah, but renters could become buyers.
Yeah, but I don't want to work with that many buyers. I'm focused on sellers now.
Yeah,
So
while you're there, just you're there, so give it to them anyway.
We did, but if I'm gonna target sellers, I need to know how to target them.
Yes. So what you need to learn how to do is to be more intentional about your business. So going door knocking is rolling the dice because for 2 reasons. You don't know if the person is going to be home, and you don't know if they're the owners. Like you said, they could be renters, right? So what you really need to do is focus on how can I spend the best amount of the least amount of time getting the biggest return for that time. So grabbing this data the way that we're discussing today, running it through data search like this is going to be the best use of your time. Now, if you want an option of where it's done for you, then you could join a service like Land Voice is the one that we used to use. a lot. Land Voice already gives you the data. It comes with the phone numbers, and it also gives you expireds, and it gives you for sale by owners, and it gives you neighborhood searches too. I've never used a neighborhood search option. I've only used the expireds and the for sale by owners.
Mm-hmm.
The numbers are pretty good. They're not terrible, but this is a way where, hey, listen, I don't think I'm competent enough. I don't think I'm disciplined enough to do this every couple of days, where I'm gonna run the numbers and get the numbers, edit the spreadsheet, and then make the calls. If you don't think you're gonna do that, and you just need an option of, hey, how can I start making calls today? Then I would say go with Landvoice, go with RedX. These are services that they have available, ready for you to go. I think some of these even come with dialers that you could use as well for an extra fee. But to be honest with, go ahead.
I just signed up with Vulcan, so I'm getting there. Bruce.
Yeah, so Vulcan is another one that's good. It has a dialer, and all those things are great. I've spoken to them before as well in the past, and they have a good service. So now the next step is, all right, now I've got the data. All right, now I've got some data. You've got Fsbos, and you've got for sale by owners, probably the majority of the ones you're going to see on there. All right, so now the phone is ringing. What do you say?
Yeah.
How does that conversation start? Because if you don't practice this stuff offline, off the call, you're going to be, first of all, reluctant to call, because you're going to be like, oh my God, I have no idea what to say. And what if they say this? What if I say that? What do I say? I have no clue. So what I suggest is, go ahead.
Can I say something? I was
Yeah,
just
yeah.
thinking that the best, most humbling way that I could do it for myself is is calling, obviously saying, hi, my name is Claudia Vidal with eXp Realty. Are
Yeah.
you so-and-so? Are you the owner of ABC News, whatever street? They say yes. And then I just basically let them know that I'm just not like soliciting my services, but kind of putting myself out there.
Okay.
Like, I just wanted to give you a call, let you know that I'm a local realtor, and I'm working with buyers and I'm working with sellers. And if you have thought of selling, I would like you to know that I'm there to help you, basically.
Okay.
Type of
Let's
thing.
try that.
And then ask, do you have any real estate needs at the
Okay.
moment?
Okay.
Yes. No. Okay. Keep it moving.
Let's try that.
I get nervous, and then I want to rush them off the phone. That's my problem.
Yeah. And you know what? That all comes with time. If you practice enough. See, the thing is, when I started, I didn't have an accountability group. I didn't have a role play group. I just screwed up on enough people on the phone that I eventually got good. But you guys shouldn't have to do that. You shouldn't have to learn with your leads, because you're burning leads, what I suggest is that every morning you have an accountability call with someone, and you do the role play. Again, in the morning, we do accountability calls. The agents and we do it for agent attraction, but there's agents within our group that do it every morning for listing presentations, for listings, for buyer consultations, and all of these things. So I suggest that you tap into one of those smaller groups, so that way you guys can have that everyday constant practice. And sometimes people are like, well, I don't need it every day. Well, the funny thing is that Kobe never stopped practicing. Jordan never stopped practicing. They practiced even though they were good. They had coaches even though they were already great at championships. So the minute you take your foot off the gas is the minute that you start to lose your edge. Maybe you don't need to practice anymore because you've been doing it for 3 months straight. But if you don't at least have that accountability call in the morning, the chances of you not making those calls that day are much greater than if you didn't have that call that day. So that's what I'm going to tell you guys. It's really important. So now, Claudia, let's go ahead and try that, right? Since you have such a dialogue ready to go, right? You haven't used it yet, but you have something in mind that's ready to go. Give me a quick call. No pressure. Don't worry. Massimo's not a prospecting wizard, so he's not going to judge you. If anything, he'll give you some critique, and I'll give you some critique. Call me, and I'll be one of these sellers, one of 100,000 sellers I've spoken to in the past, and I'll tell you what they would normally say. You ready?
Okay.
Okay. Hello.
Hi, is this Louis?
Yes, this is. Who am I speaking with?
Hi, Louis. I'm Claudia Vidal with eXp Realty. Are you the owner of 123 Main Street?
It depends who's asking.
Well, the reason for my call is I'm trying to reach homeowners or renters in the area, because I am launching my business as a real estate agent, and I just want to spread the word that I'm here to help, and wondering if you have any real estate needs.
Well, real estate needs? No, I'm not selling my house. I love my house. Why would I sell my house?
You don't want to sell your house? That's fine. No worries. Do you know anybody that wants to get in your area?
Well, I'm sure there's a lot of people who want to buy around here, but I don't think there's too many homes for sale at the moment.
What about any friends or family members?
Hmm. I mean, I've got friends and family, but I don't know about anyone moving right now. But what company are you with? What did you say your name was?
I'm Claudia Vidal with eXp Realty.
Okay, how did you get my number?
Well, it's a public record.
Public record?
Yeah,
Okay, what public record did you use to find my number?
that's what I don't know what to answer.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, I don't appreciate being solicited about my home. If I do decide to sell my home one day, I have a friend that's in the industry.
You have a friend?
Yes, I do. I have a friend who sold me this house, and if I ever do sell, I think I'd call him.
Okay, what about if that goes south? What if he's not available anymore? Wouldn't you want to have a backup?
Of course, I would.
Okay, so would you like me to possibly send you some information regarding your neighborhood with basically a market update?
You can go ahead and send me something, but like I said, I'm not ready to sell my home, and if I do one day, I'll keep you as a backup option. But I'm sure my friend will still be in the business.
Sure. So can I have your email address? I would love to send you market updates and that way you can, have all that information.
Okay. It's George@gmail.com.
Okay, George, thank you for your time.
No problem. Thank
Have a
you very
great
much.
day.
Okay. All right. You did really good on that. I don't know if you were like you've practiced that in the past, but you actually did pretty good. Most people freeze up and tense up when I start giving them the I have a friend and all that. And you actually said the right thing. That was great. What about a backup plan?
The only thing is when they do ask you, because I have been asked before, how'd you get this number? That's
Hmm?
the part that I don't know what to say.
Okay. So when you get a very uncomfortable question, the best thing to do is to cushion it and then reassure them. So the cushion would be, you know what? I am so glad that you asked me that. Most people forget to even ask me where I got the information from. Well, George, the way I got your phone number is through a database that we have at our office, and it gives us the phone numbers to people that are possibly likely to sell their home, or it's sometimes in the areas of where we have listings. Now, I'm not 100% sure how they got their data. All I know is that it's just a database that we tap into when we need to. You understand? So you put it off on someone else,
Mm-hmm.
and you have no clue how to get the data. You just know they have it, and you let them know why they use that data, because that way they don't feel like we just randomly cold call people. You say, we service this area, so it's our responsibility to let the homeowners know sometimes when we have a new listing, or when a property, when we have needs for a buyer on a certain property in a certain neighborhood. So that way, we can contact the neighbors and find out if there's any interest, or if you guys want to attend one of our open houses. So what you want to do is you want to practice that as many times as possible. The most uncomfortable ones, you want to practice. So what I would do is whenever you're prospecting, you prospect with a notepad and a pen or something to take notes with. And whenever you get a question that made you very uncomfortable and you didn't know how to respond to it, but you said something anyway, then you write that down.
Mm-hmm.
All
Okay.
right. So then now you can role play that with your group afterwards. But you did pretty good on that. That wasn't too bad. Yeah, not at all. What'd you think, Massimo, of her call?
Pretty good, pretty good.
No, be honest. Be honest.
Listen, I'm probably the worst one, but I think that was pretty good.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. For not making a call probably in a long time, or haven't done calls, you did well. So yeah, that's really what it comes down to, guys. Is just practicing these things. Like if I did a role play with you guys, and I'm calling as the agent, I can call a person who's in distress. I can call a person who is a for sale by owner. I can call a person who is whatever category, because I've done it so many times. I know how to break the ice with those people, and I know how to not offend them, and I know how to get in their mind. Because the purpose of making the call is to just build a rapport with that person and have them trust you enough to take the next steps. And the next steps sometimes are, in-house visit. Sometimes it's sending them data. But always is to ask permission for another call in the future. So if I say, no, Claudia, I'm not interested, maybe sometime in a few years I'll think about selling. Oh, okay, George, that's great. Well, George, would you mind if I just follow up with you in the future? Because you never know what life throws us. Is that okay with you? Yeah, absolutely, you could. Okay, then you put them on your follow-up.
Yeah.
You get it? George may not know someone today that's looking to sell or buy a house, but in 3 months, he might.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's really all it takes. It's really all just the process of making initial calls. then building out. Yes.
Who do you call? What's the group that's more effective, like that you get the most business from? Is it Fsbo's, prospecting, like a listing that you had, absentee owners? Is there a certain one you target?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, I'll tell you this much. The best people to contact are the people who want to be contacted, right? So for instance, yourself, you've been on a lot of listing appointments that you didn't get. You've mailed out to a lot of neighborhoods that you haven't serviced yet, right?
Mhm.
So what I would do is I'd figure out what are my areas that I've already been targeting, where I've already branded myself, or people who I've already visited and I haven't gotten the listing. And you make a warm and you make a hot list. Your hot list would be people that you already had you already had a listing presentation with who haven't listed yet. And then you have your warm list of people who you've mailed to but you've never contacted before. So the way that I would call that area would be, for instance, let's just say someone you sent the flyer to, you've been sending flyers for a year and a half. You've already invested a lot of money in that neighborhood.
Mhm.
Now is your time to kind of like take the next steps with them. So what I would do is I would call those neighborhoods and say, I would call and say, hello, this is, obviously you get their name, like, hi, is this Jim? Hey, yeah, this is Jim. Hi, Jim, this is Massimo. And I'm sorry, bro, I don't remember your last name, but this is Massimo. You almost say your first and last name, right? Because you build authority that way. Hi, this is Louis Leyva, right? So what you do is introduce yourself. Hi, this is Louis Leyva. I was just calling you to make sure that, have you been getting some of the neighborhood advisories that I've been sending over? What do you mean neighborhood advisories? Yeah, I just wanted to let everyone in the neighborhood know about the homes that have been selling recently. I'm not sure if you've seen those. Oh, you're the guy from the postcards. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so I just wanted to follow up with you and let you know that I've been servicing this area now for the last few years. Do you know anyone that's looking to possibly buy or sell in the next few months? So what you did, you establish authority as soon as you call. However you want that to sound is good, because those are going to be your warmest, hottest leads. Now the guy might say, can you please stop sending me those damn postcards? And then what you could do is you can make a joke out of it. You could you could chuckle it off, laugh it off, and you could say something like, I'm sorry, man. I understand. You probably get a lot of spam mail, and believe me, that's not my intent. But can you tell me a little bit more about your situation? How long have you been living in a neighborhood? How long have you been a neighbor here? Maybe change the subject. And then they're gonna be like, well, what does that matter to you? No, listen, I just want to get to know the people who have been here for a long time. And while I have you on the phone, I'll also make a note to stop sending you. I'll stop sending you the postcards. But can I just, at least while I have you on the phone, maybe just learn a little bit more about you? And then you change. You start to, open a conversation, open the dialogue, and then before you know it, by the end of the call, they might actually be a fan of yours. Is that everybody?
Or they hang up.
Yeah, or they hang up. And if they hang up, fine, whatever. They hang up, right? That's fine. But if they're in a bad mood, sometimes it's because it has nothing to do with you. Sometimes it's just because they don't have anyone to really communicate with. They don't really know how to communicate well with people, and it might end up being that the guy's a great guy or the lady's a great lady, or maybe they have something going on. They need someone to listen to them for the next 5 minutes. But every conversation that you have with the people you've been trying to service is a win. I mean, it might not be a win today, but it might be a win down the road. So I would suggest that you definitely target those people. Do not let that go wasted because you spent a lot of money there. Now, as far as for myself, what I've found the highest and best results with when I was prospecting are with distressed homeowners. And I did distressed homeowners for two reasons. Number one, because you can make a ton of money with them, because a lot of times you can get the listing and the sale. Number two, because they become opportunities for me to invest in. I can buy them at times when the situation is good and the deal is juicy enough. And to be honest with you, they're the least problematic sellers I've ever had in my life. Why? Because they don't tell you, I want 500,000 for my house. They tell you, what can I get for my house? I just don't want to have to owe the bank any money. So we negotiate those short sales for them. They walk away not owing anything. We end up selling the house for them on a full 6% commission. And they don't call you every other day. Why is my house not sold? Why is my house not sold? Why is my house not sold? It's the least problematic business I've ever done in my life.
How do you get them? By driving around, or or is there a different platform?
Yeah, so you would go onto the same place. You would go to this
PropStream. What's the difference between PropStream and Land Voice?
Land Voice doesn't give you pre-foreclosures. So I would use PropStream. I'm gonna put it in the chat for you guys so you have it. Let me see if I can do-
Pre-foreclosures.
Yeah.
Louis, how do you get a foreclosure list?
Two ways. Let me just drop this PropStream link. You get a discount if you use this link. There's two ways to get pre-foreclosures. You can use a system like PropStream, right? That gives you the information here, right? That's a pretty simple way of doing it. There's also another website that I used to use called, let me see if I can open it up for you guys. It's NJ Lists. NJ List Pendants. So this website here, I think it's about $30 every 3 months. It gives you the most up-to-date latest list of people who are behind on their mortgages. I found great success with this. I use this for years. NJ List Pendants. I put it in the chat also. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not sharing my screen. I apologize. Give me a second. I just put that in the chat. Now let me share screen. Okay. Yeah, this website right here, NJ List Pendants. I already put it in the chat so you guys have it. This is the most up-to-date when it comes to pre-foreclosures. If the list pendants was reported this week, it's on the website. So this gives you that edge, because sometimes in a very difficult market, the speed of data makes a difference between getting a listing and not getting a listing. So this could be a good resource for you guys. This is like $30 every 3 months or something like that.
Oh, that's not bad. Every 3 months?
Yeah, I think
wow.
they bill quarterly. Yeah, or you can sign up to PropStream. PropStream's $100 a month, but you get all types of data. It's not just pre-foreclosures. It's pre-foreclosures,
How much is
expires.
that one?
This one's $100 a month, I believe.
100 a month?
Yeah, I think you get a free 7-day trial if you use the link I gave you guys. So you can check it out for 7 days, and if you don't like it, then you can just not continue it. Okay, what else? Yeah, so now let's talk about efficiency. So efficiency is the other key to it. I suggest that you use a dialer. The best dialer I've seen to ever have come across is what that I liked was the Mojo Cells. It's very easy to use, and you can even use it as a CRM. The reason I say you can use it as a CRM is because it has a built-in calendar in which you can put follow-up dates. So what I would do is I would just open up my calendar for that day and see who the people I had to call that day would be on my follow-ups. So I would go ahead, put notes in there for next time, save it, reschedule it for another 2 months down the road, do that day in and day out, day in and day out. And it works. You don't have to overcomplicate it. You can just use simple methods to really be able to A, get the right people in front of you, and B, leverage your time. These are the things that I'm telling you. Like, you spend a couple $100 on resources like this, it's going to make a world of difference. Data and tools. I mean, it's going to set your business on fire. There's really no two ways about it.
PropStream is a listing, like it gives you a list of phone numbers and addresses, and Land Voice is a dialer.
PropStream gives you data. They also have an option for phone numbers, but their phone number option is more expensive. So what I do is I export data from PropStream, and I send it off to REI Skip Trace. I upload a spreadsheet, and then they give me that data back. Now I'm giving you guys the bird's eye view. There's so many little nuances and like things that you have to do in order to make the spreadsheets right, to make the data more compatible, to set up your dialer. And then once you've gotten all that done and you kind of figured out how everything works, then we can talk about automation. Automation basically means like, all right, let's just say I'm dialing, right? I'm the system's making the calls for me. I'm pounding out 100 calls an hour. How can I put those people on drip campaigns while I'm still dialing, right? Because if I wait till I'm done dialing and I have like 20 people that I have to upload into my CRM and then put notes on the CRM and then put them into drip campaigns, that's going to take me like another hour of my day to do. Well, once you figure out how to use the systems, I can show you guys how to just press one button on your dialer and have that person be sent to your CRM and start the drip campaign automatically with text messages and emails. So that way you never have to do double the work when you're done. So that's all part of like fine tuning once you guys have a process done. But the reason why I'm sharing these things with you is because as you, I don't want to overwhelm you, as you start to kind of like figure out your rhythm, you know, we just have to keep improving that rhythm. You know, we just have to keep improving how to make it more efficient, how to maybe target better people, how to go after the right the phone numbers. You know, at times we might even have to change up our scripts, all that stuff. But it really just comes down with having the accountability and having the right people with you to make sure that you know, you're not making any mistakes or spending money unnecessarily. Make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We're good. Awesome. So what's your next step? So what are you guys thinking? Or give me some questions if you have any.
Well, okay, so then since NJMLS didn't seem to have that information anymore, you know, it seems like they took it out where you get the address.
Yes.
As far as when you want to reach people for open houses and things like that, we should still, I should use PropStream for that.
I would use PropStream or LandVoice, Redx or Vulcan, because they also offer like geographic searches. So let's just say if you want to get like the half-mile radius around your open house, they'll give you the data too, along with PropStream. You know, it just depends on what you want to use. Because think about it, okay, well, if I get LandVoice, that means that if I get PropStream, the data is going to overlap. Or I could just get PropStream and then I get all the data that I'm looking for. You know, it's kind of like, I would say if you had to pick one, I'd say pick the broadest one. And it's no contract, it's month to month. So if
You're cutting off.
oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you were sounding.
Yeah.
Louis.
Yeah, I'm coming back. Can you guys hear me?
Okay. Yeah.
Now, yeah.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, what I would do is just remember if you don't want overlap, which means that, you know, you want kind of you don't want to have two systems that give you the same data because you're overpaying at that point. PropStream pretty much gives you all the data for anything you may need. It's the most general one, and then later on, if you start to maybe specialize in only certain things, then maybe you can get something else. But I think for beginner purposes, I think PropStream is probably a really good one. The good thing about PropStream is that, like, you don't really have to just pay for it yourself. Like, let's just say that you and Massimo wanted to team up, you guys could split a what's it called, a PropStream account. You guys pay $50 a month each, and then, you know, you guys get the data, you know. So get a couple people, start a group, and you guys can split it between 5 people. It's $20 a piece, you know. So you just gotta make sure that whoever is responsible, whoever's credit card is on file, is comfortable with that, you know, because sometimes people, it's hard to collect from people.
Yeah.
Louis, do you have do you go off a script? Do you what do you, or you
Yeah.
just, you've been doing it a long time, so you're,
Yeah.
I know you're, you know, you're
Yeah. So the only scripted part is my introduction, and then after my introduction, then I go off of them. So I ask enough questions, and I ask the right questions in order to get them to open up. And then once they open up, I just let them talk as much as possible, and I just throw in my 2 cents from time to time. I never take over the conversation. I always let them speak, and I always ask the questions to bait them, to get them into the position that I want. You know, so for instance, I'll role play with you real quick, and I'll call you. You know, what kind of a seller do you want to be, and I'll show you how I'll handle it.
Let's do you sold a house around the block for me.
Okay. And you're just a regular seller who has thought about selling, but never really give it too much thought.
I just live in the area that you know, you sold a house around in
Okay.
the street.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what I'm gonna try to focus on Fsbos in the morning, because I think the new list of Fsbo comes out every morning, right?
Yeah.
That's what I heard.
Fsbos are gonna be tough in this market. I'm just gonna warn you, because they're selling their own houses like that. Yeah. So you know, that's good for dialogue practice, but I don't think you're gonna get much right now in this market. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying it's gonna be pretty tough.
Right.
Unless they grossly overprice their house, then yeah, you got a good chance.
Yeah.
Okay. So which one am I calling? I'm calling you. You're just a person with zero
mean,
interest in selling.
Right, zero interest. I live in the area. You just sold the house.
Yeah. Well, if
So-
you've got zero interest in selling, I'm going to pick up on that right away, and I'm not going to be on the phone with you for too long. I'm only going to be on the phone and develop conversation with someone who potentially has considered it. Does that make sense?
Gotcha. Okay, so let's do first. I have no interest. Let's do with that.
Okay.
You have
All
your
right.
hands on.
I'm giving you a call, right?
Okay. Hello?
All right. So, hello, Massimo.
Yes,
Hey, Massimo, how you doing, bud? This is Louis Leiva. How's it going?
pretty good. Who is this?
Louis Leiva, brother. I'm sorry. I know you're probably pretty busy. I'm just going to be a few minutes. The reason I was calling you is because I realized that you own a house in a neighborhood that I service, and we recently just took a listing around the corner from you. And I wanted to ask you, do you possibly know anyone who's been looking for a house in your area?
No, I don't.
Okay, no worries at all. Are you familiar with 123 Main Street, by the way? It's just around the corner from your house.
Yes, I saw the sign up there.
Yeah. What do you think it's going for?
Well, I saw it was online for 670.
Absolutely. Can you believe that, brother? If that house sells, that's going to be a record. What do you think about that price?
It's a great price. I hope it sells for that much.
If it sold for that price, would it encourage you to maybe consider selling yours?
One day, maybe.
Okay.
Not right now.
Got it. How long have you lived in the house?
5 years.
5 years. Wow. Do you know that the average homeowner moves every 5 years? So that means you're probably thinking about it. Has it crossed your mind?
Well, my kids are in school right now, so I'm not going anywhere anytime soon.
Awesome. How many kids do you have?
2 kids.
2? Are they getting ready to graduate, or are they still little?
They're still little.
Okay. So if you did move, would it be in town, or are you thinking of maybe out of state?
I'm not even thinking about it right now.
Got it. Listen, if I did sell that house, if the house does sell for $670,000, would you be open to taking a look at it at the open house?
Sure, I'll pass by.
Okay. No worries. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be canvassing the area this weekend. I'm going to be dropping off some information for the open house. Is it okay if I just knock and introduce myself?
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Massimo. I appreciate your time today.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Cool. All right. So what I did there was I just built a little rapport, introduced myself, and you gave me permission to stop by. So when I come by in person, I can have a more in-depth conversation with you, because in person, people tend to open up just a little bit more. So, if you have a house around the corner and you have an open house coming up, always try to leverage that. Try to leverage the fact that you're an area specialist and that you're going to be in the neighborhood anyway. So if they do say no, like, oh no, I'm not really having anybody over by the house today. No worries, that's understandable, Massimo. Would you mind if I just followed up with you in a couple of weeks, or maybe in a month or so, and kind of give you an update on that house and see if you know anyone who might be thinking about selling at that time? And maybe Massimo say, yeah, sure, no problem. So that I know I got permission to call you again. Right. So the conversation doesn't have to be. Let me put it that way. Very unlikely that you're going to close someone on the first conversation unless they're super like in pain and they need to sell their house, right? So what kind of people are those? In a buyer's market, you're going to have expired listings, right? Those people are going to be like, oh man, this last agent I had totally kind of dropped the ball. We never have any open houses. We never had any showings. Whatever, that's the kind of conversations you're going to have in a buyer's market. Right now, you're probably not going to have too many of those because expired listings really are pretty rare. But again, expired listings, you're going to be up against a lot of other agents calling as well. So your dialogue has to adjust for that. Your dialogue has to be different than theirs. And so there has to be a different dialogue for pretty much every type of person you're calling. So right now we just tried a dialogue where, I just have a random house around the corner. You're just a random guy. If you were a Fsbo, then you have to understand the psychology behind the Fsbo. They go in stages. Fsbo people start off in the beginning thinking they got it all handled. They know more than you do, and they don't need anyone's help. That's stage number 1. Stage number 2 is, okay, we're willing to cooperate with an agent if they bring us a buyer, and we'll give you a percentage of the commission. We'll give you 2%, 2.5%, right? A lot of times agents don't want that either. A lot of agents are be like, no, I don't want to bring you a buyer. No, that's not the way I work. And then stage 3 is they throw up with the white flag and are like, all right, I give up. Somebody come and list my house. I thought I knew what I was doing. I don't have an offer and I got to get the show on the road. So when you call a Fsbo, be conscious of when you're calling that Fsbo. If that Fsbo just came online, know that everybody's calling them. They're getting 50 calls a day by other real estate agents. If you wait a couple of weeks, they might be in stage number 2. You wait another few weeks after that, you catch them in stage 3, you're good. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't reach out to them in stage 1. It just means that be prepared for a second call and a third call, and maybe possibly even multiple times going to the property, because with a Fsbo, it's very easy to get yourself in the door. Am I correct?
Right.
Hey, I want to come preview the house. I might have a buyer. Sure, come by. Well, I'm an open house Sunday. Cool. You want to drink coffee? Yeah, I do. I'll bring you over some good coffee, brother. Okay, cool. Then they remember you because you brought them something. Yeah. So everyone's going to be different. That's why I'm saying, guys, but as far as processes go, like, don't worry. Like, I got you. Like, I'll show you guys how to fix your list. I'll show you guys how to leverage your time. I'll show you guys how to make the right decisions when it comes to systems. Now, when it comes to getting good at your craft, I can't do that for you. You guys have to be active and proactive and find the people to partner with, find the groups, the small groups to be accountable with. And that way you can stay consistent. That part is going to be the difficult one. But if you can do it, sky's the limit, guys. I'm telling you.
Louis, when you call
Yes, sir.
someone, do you address them by their name, or you just talk in general? Because it might not be that person.
So if I see on the record that it says Robert Smith and a man answers, I say Rob or Robert or Bob. I say something like that because let me just give you another an easier one. Jason, right? If I see a name like Jason, how do you think Jason's friends address him when they call?
Jay.
Jay, right? Hi, Jay. And then he's like, oh, okay. Because a solicitor would be like, hello, Jason Smith. Hi, this is Louis Leyva with EXP Realty, the fastest growing real estate company in all of history. Before you're done, they're already lost. They already hung up the phone on you. But if you call and you address them like a friend with the energy of a friend, then they're more open to kind of just like putting their guard down and they'll have a conversation with you. And then you get to your purpose right away. Bang, bang, bang. If you don't get to your purpose right away, then you're going to lose them. And they're going to be like, dude, I got things going on. But if you get to your purpose right away, you create authority on the call because you've explained who you are, why you're calling, and then you pass the potato. You've given them the floor. You talk now, and then they talk, and then once they start talking, a lot of times it's hard to shut them up. And the more they talk, the better you're going to do.
Right.
Yeah. If they're very closed off and giving you one-word answers, and you feel like the call is going nowhere, just get right to the point. Ask the questions you got to ask, and let them off the hook.
Yeah.
You guys understand?
Yep.
Okay. Good. All right. What else do you guys want to cover before we go? There's a couple, probably got like a couple more minutes. I can go over the stuff with you.
Yeah, just a quick question again, going back to
Yeah.
PropStream and the list, right? That
Yeah.
list gets provided by PropStream, and then you're uploading it and you're saving it as a CSV, I think it is, or
Yeah.
PDF.
Yeah. You export it as a CSV, upload it as a CSV.
Okay, and then you're saying that you provide that list to the mail carrier?
Okay. So if you want to do EDDM, what you need to do is also download the mail carrier route. The way you do that, it's very simple. I mean, it depends what you want to do.
Do you want to do like another call for that?
No, the easiest way to do that would be just to get a company that does the mailings that does EDDM already. Because instead of
What
you
is it
having
called?
to EDDM, every door direct mail. So Massimo does it. I don't know if he gives them the mail carrier route or if he just tells them the areas he wants to focus on.
I'm doing myself.
You do it yourself? Yeah, so you can do it yourself, or you can get mail carrier, or you can get companies that you just tell them the neighborhoods and they grab the EDDM data. So either way.
Okay.
I get the flyers made up and then I
Deliver them?
Well, yeah, you gotta, there's certain, like Louis said, each area has different codes and you gotta separate them and then drop them off at the post office. It could be a different post office, depends on the area.
Yeah, you'd be surprised, Massimo. there's companies that do it for just a little bit more than what you would pay for it. It saves you a lot of the time. Like you don't have to go to the post office. You don't
Yeah,
have
I
to put the
know.
labels on them.
Right now, I'm starting to get busier, so I might have to switch to that.
Yeah, of course, of course. Awesome. Any other questions, guys? So you guys have any other things for me?
What's the best day to call? Is there a best day? Is it Monday,
Um,
Tuesday, Wednesday, weekends?
Evenings,
Morning?
mornings.
Yeah, the best times to call for me that I found have been the mornings because people have the most energy. Some of the other agents that have worked with us, they've called us in the evenings, which is what they found was pretty good for them too. But they did both because sometimes people are home from work. I found that if you're gonna call on Saturdays, call early in the day Saturdays. Don't call in the afternoons because you're not gonna get too many people answering. Forget about Sundays. Believe it or not, holidays, days where people have off from work, great, especially when it's during the week. Amazing to call. Those are great days. Snow days, amazing to call. A warm day in a cold streak with the sun is out, amazing days to call. So for instance, right now you guys are getting like a cold streak in Jersey. If you guys get a day to crack 60, get on the phones, make some calls because people are in good moods. Sun's shining, birds are singing, summer's around the corner. Yeah, get them on the phone. Those are great days. It's funny how that works, right?
Yeah, it's true though.
Yeah, it's true. For sure.
Now, what about like, is a Wednesday better than a Monday?
That has zero, to me, that has zero impact. I just think there is no bad time or day to call as long as you're making most calls. It doesn't matter.
I think it's just timing, right?
Yeah, and what I will tell you is that if you've got a list, I used to call my list at least 3 times until I gave up on that list. Until I squeezed every little bit of juice out of that list. So 3 times it was my magic number.
Okay.
Right. Good stuff.
Good stuff.
Yep, definitely.
Awesome. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here today. If you guys want a copy of this, I think I'm going to post it on my training YouTube channel. Let me see if I can just give you guys the link for that now.
One last question.
Yeah, go for it.
How much ROI do you think there is with mailers versus calling?
I've never been big on mailings. Massimo's finding success with it, but like I told Massimo, like when it comes to mailing, you really have to always be testing and find out what's working and what's not, because he's got 2 types of mailings that he's sending out. He's sending out postcards, and he's also sending out handwritten letters. His handwritten letters are crushing it. Meanwhile, his mailers are not. So, you just have to test, different channels and see what's working and do more of that, I would suggest. What do you think, Massimo, as far as that goes?
So the letters have been working for me because
That's a lot of letters to write, though.
it is.
He doesn't handwrite them, though.
I don't handwrite
You're
them.
typing them.
It's all pretty much done, and you just gotta fold them, put them in the, stamps on, and you gotta fill. What I do is I handwrite the envelopes though.
Okay.
Well, I used to do the stickers, but I think when it's handwritten, they think it's for them.
Okay.
They don't think
They
it's
open it. They're more willing to open it. Got it.
They've been working. EDDMs, I feel I have to continue to do just to keep my face out there because I keep hitting the same area. So that's why I keep doing EDDM, just so people get familiar with me. But they haven't been working though. But
I need to learn a little bit more about this EDDM situation.
hopefully in the future.
The only reason why that's a tool is because it's cheaper to mail out. Because it's mail carrier route. Yeah. So what I would do if I were you is just find a good printer or a good service that you can use online. I think Vistaprint works, and there's a couple other specialty real estate ones that'll send the letters out.
I'll put it in the chat and he'll send it out for you too. Is that a work? Hold on. How do you do this here? Print, post, and work.
This is the recording, Louis?
This is being recorded, and this link I just dropped in here is for our YouTube channel where we have all the trainings that we do, our Monday morning trainings, our dialogue trainings, and this training here too. I'm gonna post that for anybody who didn't make it.
Okay.
Okay, so that's who I use, and the prices are pretty good. I never got a price for him mailing it out for me, but his prices for printing are pretty good.
Thank you.
Nice, nice. That's awesome.
Great post.
You could tell him I recommended you. He knows me pretty good. Spend enough money there.
Okay, will do. Thank you.
How's Stephanie doing? She's staying busy with you?
We're doing our own thing, but she's actually not here. She's in Brazil.
Oh, she went to Brazil?
Yeah.
Yeah, tell her to start scouting some agents in Brazil. We are in Brazil too. Yeah,
Yeah, no, she should be back. I think she's coming back today.
cool.
Yeah. I don't know. This market's kind of crazy. We have a lot of it was like we had a lot of interested buyers and stuff, but even they're not, I guess I'm not that good yet at getting them to trust me or whatever, because I speak to them, everything goes, it seems like it's going well. I am very, responsive and everything, but then they kind of like they disappear on me.
The
So
buyers?
yeah, I had the one buyer who supposedly has his house on the market. It's supposed to close this week and it's in a rush to buy. So
Yeah.
I was very responsive and very active with him,
Mhm.
and he hasn't replied back to the houses I've been showing him. I'm like, for somebody who needs to leave and is only going to be has a UNO until May 31st, he's kind of MIA. So
He ghosted you.
yeah,
Yeah,
ghost.
that happens a lot. The only way you can
Mhm.
combat that is just to measure their intent in the beginning, get them to sign a buyer's agreement. At least that'll psychologically try to keep them in the game a little bit more. So
I
if
already
that's
mentioned the buyer's agreement to him. I said because he said he was already working with two other agents and he was not happy with them because they were working part time and they
yeah,
weren't responsive to him, and
mhm,
that they would get back to him late when
yeah,
he's at work or whatever. So I've been doing the opposite of what he said the other agents were doing, and still nothing. So, and then there's a lot of people like that, like you'll call them, they're like, oh, right now it's not a good time. Can you call me at this time? You call them at that time, then they don't pick up. Then
mhm.
you go on you book them on a Zoom, and then they don't show up for the Zoom. So it's like a lot of that, and it's just very aggravating.
Oh yeah, real estate is it really is. I mean, there's a lot of people who waste your time without tire kickers, and it could wear on you. So what I would suggest to you is make a decision. You've paid your dues long enough. You've been an agent now, what, like 3-4 years?
4.
4 years, right? And from
Mm-hmm.
a girl who told me she didn't even think she was going to last 1 year, you've done pretty good, pretty well for yourself. So what I would say is,
Took a break. I took a year and a half of break. I didn't do anything.
well, you
And
had a
so
baby too.
basically it's like I'm starting from the beginning. Yeah, I just had a baby. I had a
Yeah.
baby last year. So no, 2 years ago now. She just turned 2. That's why I took the break. And basically I'm just starting over. So now I need to learn again how to prospect for sellers, because that's really what I want to get into.
Well, good, you should. Now you've seen what's out there and you've seen what you don't want. So what I would say to you is only work with the ones who look for you. If they're not looking for you and if they're not making more of an effort than you are, then don't even bother. Focus your other time, your other attention on just sellers. And if you do that, I guarantee you it's gonna be slow in the beginning. But once that wheel starts rolling, there is no way you'll ever go back to working with buyers. No way. It's
Yeah.
so much easier and so much more leverageable. At the highest point, I had over 100 listings, and I had no assistant. I think I had just gotten an assistant at that time. And you can't do 100 buyers in one shot and do that effectively. There's no possible way. So if you are you able to stick to this routine 5 days a week, couple hours a day? That's it. 2 hours a day, you're good. You'll be in a good place. So
How,
just keep
how
it
long
there.
how long do you think it's wise to prospect or call?
Yeah, I feel that whatever you can tolerate. So if it becomes a chore after an hour, then just do an hour. If you
Okay.
most people could do things for an hour and it won't feel like a chore. I'll tell you right now, it would even help you more if you had someone that also prospects also, because that way when you have those accountability calls in the morning, you guys are like, all right, let's role play for 15 minutes. Bang, 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 bang. Okay, I'm fired up. Let's go. Let's make our calls. You make your calls, they make their calls, and then you circle back when your sessions are over and you share experiences. When you do it alone, it becomes at times
Oh, no, I
tedious,
know. Yeah.
and it also becomes it also wears on you because sometimes people are rude and they're mean, right? And
Yeah.
when you get those people, you kind of start asking yourself, that little voice in your head says, you know what, you're wasting your time.
You
You know,
shut
this is
down.
yeah, exactly, your ego's been hurt. Don't do this anymore. But on the contrary, when you're calling with other people, right, you guys share those stories and you laugh about them. You're like, yeah, I got a mean one today too. This is what they did. You know, as a matter of fact, one time I had a guy that was so rude, but so funny at the same time, but so rude. I told my I told my partner, my friend that was prospecting at the same time as me, I was like, bro, you gotta call this guy. He's literally on fire. He's ready to list right now. I can't call him because I have to jump on another call. Can you call him for me? So I had him call the same guy, and the guy just cursed him out completely. And I was in the background just cracking up, laughing. But you know, like this is the kind of stuff that you can't do alone because it's it's difficult. It is. I'll be honest with you. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you guys do start like a small accountability group or something like that, and you need me to pop in from time to time and I give you guys some pointers, I'm going to do that. So just always know to help you guys out.
Okay. Cool.
Right? And that's easy to do, Claudia. If you don't have anyone, just jump on Facebook Workplace. There's already accountability groups. Find your people. You know, email
Okay.
crew. You can email crew also. You know, crew at Culture, and then find out if anybody wants to join the accountability group.
Okay.
You got my
But you
support
said
on that, okay?
that's the one you're talking about that you have, right? That you mentioned.
Well, I have a small 4-person accountability group. Our accountability group is for leadership. So we work on helping our team grow and develop and mentoring them. But if you guys start an accountability group for production, just let me know and I'll jump in from time to time and help you guys out with that too.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Massimo. Any questions, Massimo, before we cut it?
Thank you, Louis. Appreciate
No
it.
problem. Got it, man. Anytime. So
Have a great day. Enjoy that
take care,
weather.
guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay.